Hey, what is up everyone, it says welcome back to another Battlefield 6 video. Air vehicles have been a part of Battlefield Labs for a while, and now we got detailed information from a playtester about how they actually feel to play and how powerful they are. After we check that out, we will go over the community poll results on a question: how do non-class log weapons impact you? If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe now so you don't miss what's coming next in Battlefield 6. This leak comes from 1BF Telegram group, and they claim that the F-22 Raptor was finally added into Battlefield Labs, but the vehicle seems to be completely bugged as it crashes immediately as you spawn it. They say that their player was unable to make it fly. I don't know whether this is a skill issue with their player or the vehicle is completely bugged. They did mention that the F-22 is larger than the F-16, but it still has no textures. Perhaps this is why it's kind of bugged. It's completely new from DICE and it has no textures, so maybe the vehicle just doesn't work. The F-16 and the SAAB are attack aircraft. They work on the ground with machine guns, JDAM and regular bombs and air-to-air missiles. And the F-22 and the Su-57 are so-called stealth aircraft sharpened for air targets, similar I guess to Battlefield 4. I know this system existed as well in Battlefield 2042, but I didn't play air vehicles in Battlefield 2042, so I actually have no idea how they work. If we're going off the Battlefield 4 system, you had the attack jets and you had the so-called stealth aircraft, which were designed to kill the attack jets and helicopters and so on. Their playtester also claims that even without much experience with the JDAM and the F-16, he was doing some serious damage on the ground. He claims he dropped 2 of those bombs and made 5 frags, and he reckons that when people learn how to use F-16 and JDAMs, it'll be hard for the infantry, especially on the small maps. They claim that the controls are very heavy, especially for the attack jets, and perhaps it was designed to allow for a curve turn. I think in the attack jets case, the reason the controls are heavy is for balancing purposes. They were heavy as well in Battlefield 4. Hell, even if you go back as far into Battlefield 3, if you played Russian Battlefield 3, you would know that there you had access to an attack jet as well, and there of course he felt heavier than its brothers Flanker and the Hornet, so I think this was designed, 1, for the balancing purposes, and 2, to make the vehicle feel heavier, so it's kind of different from its nimble brothers, and maybe so it doesn't feel like Play-Doh to fly. This would be my reasoning why it feels a bit heavier than maybe the stealth jets. They also claim that while you are flying in the jet, there is no third-person zoom and only into the cockpit, and the visibility from the jet onto the ground is very poor. You have to remember there is no 3D spotting in Battlefield Labs, so perhaps it is pretty hard to see people, especially on Capstone, which seems to have pretty horrible visibility. It's hard to hit infantry with a machine gun, especially on PlayStation 5. The helicopter has aim assist enabled by default on the consoles. It interferes heavily with the controls of the vehicles and it is difficult to disable, but it's possible. So if you don't want to have aim assist enabled on your helicopters, there seems to be a way to disable it. That's just a heads up for you if you will play in the helicopter in the incoming playtest. The helicopter dumbfire rockets fly strangely, but they seem to have become more accurate compared to the previous playtest, as now they hit straight ahead and not on the sides like in Battlefield 2042, which is good news. The helicopter gunner's 30mm heligun has 12 rounds, poor accuracy and limited viewing angles, up to 40 degrees down and not 360 like in Battlefield 2042. They also say that the machine gun of an attacking aircraft destroys aircraft many times faster than in Battlefield 2042. It is kinda unclear what exactly are they talking about here. If you know what they're talking about, then let me know down in the comment section. The aircraft have infinite afterburner, which is pretty nice. Flying over the respawn repairs equipment and replenishes ammunition. You need to fly low. So it seems they're testing the Battlefield 5 system for the air vehicles. You have to fly through a ring in Battlefield 5 to get some repairs and to get your ammunition bag. And it seems they're testing this system now as well. And the dumbfire rockets do high damage on infantry from the helicopter. And with that, they wrap up the post about the air vehicles' current state in Battlefield Labs. How do you feel about this post in general? How do you feel about the air vehicles? Do you want them to be strong? Do you want them to be weak in Battlefield 6? Do they bother you as an infantry player or a tank player? As a pilot, how do you view this entire post? Please let me know. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the community poll results on my question. EA and DICE decided to keep open weapon system. How do you feel about it? At 2.4k votes, 123 comments, and 45 likes, 13% of you voted that it is in fact a good decision. At 52%, the overwhelming majority of this poll has said that it's not ideal, but they will deal with it. At 30%, you said that you started losing hope in Battlefield 6 because of this decision, and 5% of you said that you are no longer buying Battlefield 6. First, I want to thank everybody who voted in this poll. There is still time for you to go and vote in the poll. You can go to my YouTube channel, to the community posts. You can find it there. If you want your voice to be heard, go and vote. because if it gets, let's say, 3,000 votes, I will actually send this to DICE myself to show them how my followers feel about the open weapon system. So if you want to be a part of that and you want to have an impact, go vote. Since we are talking about the open weapon system again, and believe me guys, I'm getting tired of this topic as much as you are, and now the DICE has doubled down on it and it's staying, I have to clear a couple of things up. While I personally do not care about the open weapon system or the class lock weapons, for my personal reasons, those reasons being that I will kill people on any weapon I'm using, on any class, on any map, at any given time of the day, because of my experience in first-person shooters, I personally don't care about it. The same can be said about the server browser as well. I also don't care if the server browser exists in Battlefield 6. In fact, I'm a victim of the server browser for the most part. I'm banned from nearly every server in every old Battlefield games, and in order for me to record content for you guys, I have to get whitelisted on some servers, or I have to constantly buy new accounts, level them to get the guns I want to use to record content for you guys. So it's been pretty brutal for me in the past couple of years or two. And even with my opinions, I understand still why those two things, the class lock weapons and having server browser, are pretty important to some people in Battlefield. I understand the necessity of it. And I think for the most part, the reason people are pretty upset about the class lock weapons not returning in Battlefield 6 is specifically because DICE themselves has said that they're cherry-picking strategies from each old Battlefield games all the way back in February. There's a post from Battlefield Bulletin from David Sterling. While he didn't specifically mention that they're gonna bring server browser back, they're gonna bring the class lock weapon system, many people understood those words to be those things. For many people, the best things from old Battlefield games are exactly those things. The class lock weapons, the so-called teamwork, the server browser, and those things. Many people don't care about destruction systems, movement, and gunplay from those circles at least. They care about the class lock weapons, about teamwork, and about the server browser. And DICE has completely ignored that concern of them. I think this is the reason many people are upset with DICE. I think personally, if DICE had never said this, what they said here in this tweet, I think the criticism they would be getting would be much less, because people would just understand that the new game is being built on the principles of, I guess, Battlefield 2042 and Battlefield 5, because those were the latest games in the series. But no, they went ahead and said they're bringing back the best things from the older Battlefield games, and people just misunderstood that as server browser, the class lock weapons, and the other things, which is clearly not what they're doing, because they just doubled down on not doing those things. And in fact, I would go so far to say that they're not even bringing those things they said they would bring. Bringing things like gunplay from, let's say, BF3 and BF4, where is it? It isn't there. They're bringing movement from Battlefield 5. I would argue that the movement in Battlefield 6 is much slower than the one in Battlefield 5. So even those systems, in my humble opinion, that they said they would bring back aren't really brought back. I think Battlefield 6 is its own game that is probably built on Battlefield 2042 more than on any other Battlefield game of the past. That's just my personal opinion. If you want to dislike me for that opinion, you can, but I'm just being honest. If you want to listen to people who lie to you, then go listen to people who lie to you. I really try to be transparent with you guys with my opinions and with the feelings I have about the Battlefield franchise. It's just passion. Call it passion. And with that being said, I'm gonna close down the video here, guys. I'm sorry for kind of going into like the more negative things towards the end of the video, but consider this probably my last video about the open weapon system. I'm kind of done talking about it. They doubled down on it and I think it's done. So if you enjoyed watching the video, then leave a like and a comment and subscribe for future Battlefield 6 content. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy and have a great day. Perhaps there is a playtest on Friday. I don't know. If there is, then I'll see you on Friday for sure. Have a great day. Take it easy and bye-bye.